I'm so excited. Like, so excited. You can tell. We have a guest today. Or maybe not really a guest.
Maybe a guest.
Okay, a guest. We have a guest today, and I'm interviewing Dr. Simeon Ategbeshe today. And I feel so elated, as you can see. I know I'm always elated. I know. But today I'm extra elated. We're going to be talking about so many things, but the first thing we'll be talking about today is your experience, Dr. Simeon. Permit me to use Dr. Simeon. Your experience as a psychiatrist in the UK.
It's good to be on your channel today.
Oh, thank you.
I'm as excited as you are yourself. So, and you've asked a very, very, very big stuff, like my experience. It's been all, it's a mix.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to say it's been good, so to say, right?
Okay.
But again, there's still some aspect that you think maybe it's better back home than maybe in the course of the interview we'll see.
We'll talk more about it.
That. But so far so good. At least that's summarizing.
Okay. Now it's getting more interesting. I love that you said that it's been good so far, but there's sometimes that you reconsider and you're like, okay, am I in the right place? Should I just have stayed back in Nigeria? Or whether I'm in Nigeria or in the UK, I can thrive anyway. It sounds like that's what you're saying.
Definitely. I think because I used to think that mental health generally is universal. The only difference is just about the culture of the people, and that's why I think there's an aspect of psychiatry that deal with transcultural psychiatry. So that shows that the mental, the mental health itself understand that cultural background can determine presentation of management. So.
Exactly. Can you people hear him?
These
are the real psychiatrists. He's already giving me. Okay, thank you so much. Now, a lot of people, let me give a background to this. This is for anybody really, but it's also for people who are trying to make a decision about the next steps. Should I stay back in my home country? It could be Nigeria, it could be anywhere in the world really. Or should I go abroad? And both of us have made that decision. But today it's all about Dr. Simeon and what this decision has meant for him. So I'm going to be asking
maybe someday we're going to turn the thing around.
Well.
I will be interviewing you and see what your experience has been.
Yes, I'll be happy to share it. But I just wanted to say that, you know how that before we come to the UK or the US or Australia or travel abroad generally, there's always that mindset for most people, not everyone, because truly that is not my own story and I can't say that's your story, but generally people feel like, oh, it's greener pastures, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to build houses back home, blah 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 blah. And when they come, the reality is just a little bit different. So I'm going to be asking you, what were your expectations when you're coming to the UK? Be honest.
Yeah, definitely. For everyone that shop comes in, the primary expectation is that you are going for a greener pasture. And then it now depends on the individual what your definition of greener pasture is. Right? I think that should be the first. So when I was living, yes, I was living for a greener pasture. And the greener pasture for me is where I'm able to work on in that. My expectation was, because where I practiced before I came, I must give kudos to them because I learned the basis of psychiatry. I have patients that are pleasant and all, but it does have its own challenges in terms of management, where you have patients you cannot
treat as you want.
So my expectation was that, okay, I'm going to a place where I'm not expected to have those hindrances. So that's one expectation.
Okay.
Another expectation was to have more money.
Exactly. I was looking for that. I was like, Dr. Simeon.
To make more money, and then you want to ask if that expectation was met.
Was it?
Well,
we can tell behind camera. Oh, okay.
So I think, but by and large, it was for the greener pasture. Whether it's met or not, we'll talk about
it as time goes on. Yes, and I really appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your honesty because a lot of people try not to talk about the money aspect. It's important. But you said something very pertinent. You said that your expectations are all is usually to have greener pastures, but what that means to you personally might differ from what it means to another person. And I really like that it was patient care that was at the center of it all for you.
That's the major thing. And then because if I tell you that I have interest in psychiatry even before I enter, you'll be surprised. So that's why patient care will be the first thing.
Oh, so you had interest?
Yeah, I remember when I got admission into med school, and my mom and dad was asking me, which area will you be a surgeon? And I said, psychiatrist.
Oh my God.
But maybe my mom said, Kilele. So I knew before I entered med school. And I think I'm one of the few that when we are in med school, we keep talking about psychiatry, and we ended up in psychiatry.
Wow.
So that's why patient care will be utmost for me.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a psychiatrist like Dr. Simeon. Oh, that's so good. It's really good to know. So now we've talked about the expectations that you had.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the reality.
We base the reality on the expectation.
Okay.
Let me use that approach. Right. So in terms of patient care, I would say the reality has been met.
Okay, that's good.
Because I'm able to see patient don't have to think whether they're able to afford or not their medications, right? Which is at least against what I used to experience back then. So at least in that regard.
Okay.
In terms of, I know that's the aspect you want.
No, I want to hear everything.
Well, and then in terms of the fact that family is able to settle in well.
Okay.
Which is a reality, and you don't have to think about a lot to do for them.
Exactly.
And the financial aspect, human beings' need is always insatiable. So I think I'm still in a better place.
Okay.
In that regard, so expectation is.
You're such a politician. You have a way of you have your way with words. You're not saying it, but you're telling us a bit.
But I think I've given you insight, so you can make do with the information.
All right.
But I think, like I said, overall, so far,
it's worth it. Okay. Yes. I'm happy that those two expectations were met to an extent. Maybe not 100%, or at least to a great extent. Now we've talked about the expectations, your reality, but the truth is that in every new environment that we find ourselves, there'll always be challenges. Exactly. And I want you to be as vulnerable as possible because some of the challenges that you faced.
So my challenges, I'm a social person.
Okay.
So you can imagine already, because in the UK, everybody is usually busy.
True.
And then, like, I've got some friends. When you are free, your friends are not free.
They're busy.
So I think that's one of the challenges. You're not able to socialize.
Okay.
Unlike when I was back home, where at least you know the pattern of your work.
Exactly.
So I think that's one. And two, because here too, you don't really have much of family time in the sense that unlike back home where you have a lot of family events.
True.
I think it's the associated to social event anyway.
Yes.
And I can tell you, like I've mentioned cultural, I like social psychiatry as well. So I like balancing the social aspect.
Yeah.
Again, for every challenge, there's always, you can always surmount it. So I've always have other way of balancing that.
Okay.
So
I will not ask.
So I think that's one of the, and then the other challenges in terms of the practice.
Okay.
Back home there used to be some common mental illness that you deal with. Unlike here where you have some mental illness that we are not conversant with and pose some challenges in terms of management and guidelines here, and also, but by and large, like I said, for every challenge is your ability to really look for the solution is what really matters.
Okay, that's nice.
Surmountable, right?
Yeah. Yes, it's nice. I like that you told us about the practice and then your own personal life. So in terms of the social part, I can relate. I won't really say I'm sociable, but I miss Owambe. I really want to go to a party and dance.
Anytime I just feel sometimes we can just arrange something. Say just come and dance and eat and
we can. Please invite me.
Don't worry, that's something. When I make the money aspect,
it's not about just money now. If you say let's have this, everybody contributes to some amount, and we can pull up something.
I didn't bring my pad, but I'm noting it.
Noted. Okay, that's nice. And then in terms of the patient care as well, I appreciate that there are lots of things that, maybe not too many things, but there are those peculiar cases where you're like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. But thankfully, I think as time goes on, just because we learn very fast and on the job, I think is something that we.
And I think the environment, if you give in yourself to learning, I think the practice also is very supportive.
True.
And you're able to really catch up on a lot of stuff that you might not be conversant with. So.
Yeah, that's true, because with the help of the multidisciplinary team, somehow, even if you don't know something, everybody just contributes their wealth of knowledge. And
I think it works better when you also know the basics.
When you know
because if you don't have the basics, then it doesn't give room for you.
True.
But I think we are well trained now.
I know. Dr. Simeon. One day I'm going to dedicate my channel to my teachers.
Yeah, so I think we learn well from our teachers and our patients. So, So
yeah,
we are well groomed.
You're right. Okay. So we've talked about patient care, about the other little things that a lot of people get worried about. Many people, once you tell them that you're traveling, they're like, oh, what about the cultural differences? What about the language? What about the accent, the racism, the this, the that? There are so many the this and that people bring up. How have you been able to navigate those things? Or have you experienced them? Maybe that should be the first question.
Well, sometimes you experience some things might be in a soft way, also. But one thing that I've always kept, even back home, there's still some form of racism. Okay, we call it racism, but it's ethnicism or tribalism.
Oh, that's true.
So I think it's about mindset. It's about your mindset, positive mindset, irrespective of what is being thrown to you. If you've got the positive mindset, you might not even notice. So I think, by and large, I won't say that there's been some subtle ones that I might not know. Like I said, even where I was practicing before, you still have some subtle way of tribalism. So I've not taken anyone to that. If I do my job, get back home, forget what has happened at work, so as to maintain work-life balance.
Wow. I need you to be my psychiatrist. You're so positive, and I really like that.
Yeah, well, I remember in my team, someone said, you always smile. That's the way of coping. So you have to develop, as psychiatrists, we do know about emotional coping skills or emotional based or situational. Since if I can't change situation, then you change your emotion about it. So I think that's my own coping mechanism.
Oh, yeah, it's so good. It's so good. You always know psychiatrists. See him, are you talking about defense mechanisms, coping mechanisms? How would you go through life without psychiatry?
Well, I wonder what people are doing, how they are managing. But again, at least you use what you have to make yourself a better person. And I think I'm using that one.
You are, certainly. And I feel like I've been so blessed by this session. I don't know, it has just further made me know that I'm still normal to be positive.
Definitely, I think that's the fulcrum to life. Your mindset. If you are positive, even when you are passing through the most difficult experience, you still be able to navigate it. It goes better. That's just
it goes better. Oh, that's so good. That's really good. So there are definitely challenges.
Definitely.
There'll be people that would try to undermine your capacity or your capabilities, rather.
Especially when you move in here. I had some situation whereby maybe it was like testing, but with this person is
Yes.
And that builds your foundation. That's why I said, Abinesho, your basis. If your base, if the foundation is shaky,
what can the righteous do? Yeah.
So we've got. I don't want to say I've gone, but the foundation is not so bad. It's easy to really build on it.
To build on it, yes. Yes, I think that's very essential, and just focusing on the positives. The truth is that I always tell people say, oh, there's a lot of racism, there's this. I know, and I'm not turning a blind eye to the possibilities of that happening at the workplace. But the truth is, just like what you said in Nigeria, if you have someone from another tribe practicing in a place that is predominantly from a different tribe, even patients will say, no, I don't want to see that doctor. They won't understand my language. So human beings will always be human beings.
I think it's a talk for another day. What went on back home?
Yes.
That was also something that also built you for this job. So sometimes you pass through some experience to build you up for a greater one. So
you should open a church.
Am I a preacher already?
You're preaching.
Am I motivating?
I'm really motivated and positive. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. I know that it's not the whole experience, but I know that someone watching this right now would feel motivated to come over here if they choose, if that's the path they want to choose.
I'll be happy that I've motivated someone.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much. Any final words for us?
Well, I think I must appreciate this opportunity.
Okay.
I've been sitting with the one and only Omonti. The E for energy.
Oh my God.
And I think you're also doing well. I must commend you. I've told you before, and I'm still telling you.
I'm going to cut it from here. It's okay.
So I just wish. I think the most important thing is to have that basic. No matter what you do in life, it might not be psychiatry, but anywhere you find yourself, just understand the basics. Wherever you go, you can always build it up and surmount any obstacle.
I think that's very vital, and the fact that one of the things that you mentioned was that it wasn't just to build financial stability for yourself. It's because you also want to make an impact in the world. So wherever you find yourself, be it here, be it anywhere else, you would still pursue that. And I think that's one thing that we all need to keep in mind, right?
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for having me. We'll do this again.
Yes, we will.